In this video, I'm going to share with you the 5 things I wish I knew before I started self-publishing on Amazon KDP. Stay tuned to the end of the video because I'm actually going to share one bonus thing I wish I knew as well. If you're new to the channel, I'm Taylor the Ecom RN. I started self-publishing on Amazon KDP in 2023. In my first year, I did about $30,000 in royalties, and I want to tell you about my journey and show you how you can do the same. The first thing I wish I knew about self-publishing on Amazon KDP is that Amazon can actually close your account at any time. Now, this was a major pucker factor for me the first time it happened. I actually made a really stupid mistake in hindsight and just didn't do enough research and accidentally published a book that had the same exact title as another book on the platform. So Amazon saw this as a copyright infringement and just closed down my entire account. I had about 12 books published at this time, and so I lost access to all of those books. Now, fortunately, I was able to contact Amazon and get that account restored. It took about a week, but it was very stressful in the meantime, so I highly recommend not messing around. Make sure that when you are uploading a book that you're not infringing on anybody else's intellectual property. Also, you'll hear a lot of people talk about diversifying and making sure that not only do you have, the files for your book cover and interior on hand and saved somewhere so that you always have access to them, but also that you go ahead and offer them for sale on other platforms like Shopify or Ingram Spark. The second thing I wish I knew about self-publishing on Amazon KDP is that the margins tend to be pretty small. I had already started selling physical products on Amazon FBA, and I was used to looking for products with a profit margin of about 30 to 40%. But with books on Amazon KDP, the margins tend to be quite a bit smaller. One of the reasons is that you're going to have to factor in Amazon's cost to print the book and ship it to the customer, and then you're actually only going to get 60% of the remaining royalties. You also have to factor in that depending on the niche of book that you're selling, you might be competing at pretty low price points to remain competitive against the other books on the marketplace. This is one reason why I think it's a really good idea to offer multiple books and to not expect that just publishing one book on Amazon is enough to really make any meaningful income. I really do think you need to be publishing series of books so that people can come back and purchase books if they liked your first one, and you should ideally actually offer multiple series and have many, many books available on the platform so that you can make up for the small margins by having higher volume. I will say one exception to this that I have been able to take advantage of is if you have specialized knowledge. If you have specialized knowledge in a field or you're an industry expert, you can usually sell your books for a premium and you can actually have pretty great margins on your book. The third thing I wish I knew about self-publishing on Amazon is that they have a delayed payout system. And this really bummed me out when I first started publishing, and I really wish I knew this, so I hope you take this one to heart when you're planning your finances, because there's actually a 60-day delay on your payouts for your royalties. So when you first publish a book and it first starts making royalties, there's a certain threshold dollar amount of royalties that you need to have in your account before Amazon will start paying you out. And they're only going to pay you out 60 days after you meet that minimum threshold. Furthermore, they actually pay you out at the end of the month. So usually around the 29th of the month is when they'll pay you out. And so you're looking at a pretty significant delay. So to make this more concrete, let's say you did $1,000 in royalties in January. You're not going to receive that $1,000 check until March 29th. So keep that in mind. If you're trying to do this as like a get rich quick scheme, I really don't think that's the way to play it. It does take some time to get those payouts. And like I said previously, you're probably going to need to upload multiple books to actually make a significant amount of royalties. The fourth thing I wish I knew about Amazon KDP is that there are multiple formats. And this is just kind of silly that I didn't know this. But by multiple formats, I actually mean a couple things. First off, you have the option to upload your book as either a Kindle version, so an electronic version, or you can upload it as a paperback version, in which case Amazon will actually physically print that book on demand for the customer, or you can offer it as a hardcover version, in which case Amazon will make it as a hardcover book. Not only that, but you can also publish in various different content categories on Amazon KDP. So you can sell low content books, medium content books, or high content books. For example, a low content book would be something like a journal where there really isn't anything inside the book. It's just kind of formatted and laid out so that somebody can write their own stuff in the pages. You can have a medium content book like a step-by-step guide or a coloring book, or maybe even a cookbook could be considered in this category. Something that has some content in it. People aren't generally going to be writing their own content in these, but it's not a novel. High content books are typically what you'd expect in a book. It's something that's more along the lines of a novel or a short story, or it could be nonfiction, in which case it could be something like, How to Train Your Dog or Coding for Dummies or something along those lines. So there really are a lot of different ways that you can go about publishing. Each of these niches and each of these content categories has its own type of competition in the space, so you really need to be specific about what kind of book you want to publish. The fifth thing that I wish I knew about self-publishing on Amazon is that everyone judges your book by its cover. Okay, it's kind of the opposite of the age-old adage, which is don't judge a book by its cover. Well, it's completely the opposite on Amazon. Everyone is judging your book by the cover. They're essentially only judging it by the cover. The only thing that comes close would be the reviews. So you really need to focus on your cover designs, and that is not an area that you should skimp out on. If you are very skilled at graphic design, then perhaps you want to create your own high-quality covers. But if you don't, you definitely want to make sure you're investing in a very high-quality freelancer or assistant who knows how to create very high-quality book covers with their graphic design skills. All right, so hopefully those 5 things give you some more insight into self-publishing, but I want to share one extra bonus thing with you guys that's actually a positive. All the other points I just made seem kind of negative. They might make you think that Amazon KDP is a bad idea, but one thing I have really come to appreciate about publishing on Amazon KDP is that it's so passive. Compared to selling on Amazon FBA, for instance, self-publishing is so easy. There's no inventory to manage. You don't have to place supply orders from overseas and have them shipped. You don't have to deal with customer service. Amazon KDP actually handles all of that stuff on the back end for you, whether it's by printing your book on demand, in which case you don't need any physical inventory, or by following up and handling any issues that a customer might have with that printed copy of the book, because it was Amazon who printed it. So it's really been an awesome income stream for me because I essentially just receive a royalty check every month into my bank account, and I do almost nothing to manage those books once they're live. All right, that's it for this video. I hope it was helpful and gave you some insight. If it did, please leave a like. If you have any questions or want me to address something in more detail, please leave a comment. And if you'd like any personalized help or feedback with publishing your first book, feel free to book a free call. The link is down in the description. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.